So when we have a quadratic where the first term is not 1, this is what you do. You take this leading coefficient and multiply it times this number. So 5 times 6 is 30. And then we do what we did before. You ask yourself this time, what can I multiply to get positive 30 that I can add to get positive 17?
15 times 2.
You're right, 15 and 2. 15 and 2.
Is that the answer?
No, that's the beginning. So what we do is we take this middle term and we split it into 15x plus 2x. And then we bring down the first one and we bring down the last one.
Oh, I'm a real, hold on, I messed it up.
Okay, then what we do is that grouping. We practiced the grouping on the first day. We practiced it again some more yesterday. So we group the first two and we group the second two. What do the first two terms have in common? A 5 and what else? An x. Alright, so what do we multiply 5 by to get 5? 1. What do we multiply x by to get x squared?
2.
We need another x.
Oh.
We need 1x. Okay, what do I multiply 5 by to get 15? 3. Here I have an x, and here I only need 1. So do I need any more x's? No. Okay, so we want these two to match. So if this is x plus 3, down here we want it to be x plus 3. Is there anything you can factor out of here? This is 2x, this is 1x. What do I divide out so that 2x turns into 1x? 2. So a positive 2 gets divided out. Okay, so we have these two terms, this one and this one, and they both have this x plus 3 in common. So when we pull that out in front, what are we left with? A 5x plus 2.
Now that's it.
And that's it.
So much.
You know, right now I'm going really slow to make sure everybody understands. It goes a little faster once you do a couple of them and it doesn't feel like it. But right now, I'm with you. It feels like a lot of steps. It does. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is not a 1, so we do this every time. 4 times 15 is 60. All right, so we ask ourselves, what can we multiply to get 60? And this time we're adding it to get 16. Can anybody think of that one? 10 and 6. 10 and 6. So it's a positive 10 and a positive 6. So this 16 is going to split into 10x and 6x. Your teachers probably called this term splitting last semester because we're taking that middle term and we're splitting. Okay, what do the first two terms have in common? Well, what's the biggest number that will divide into 4 and into 10? 2. So we're going to take out a 2. And they both have an x in common. So So what do you multiply 2 by to get 4? 2. Here I have 1 x, but here I need 2. So how many more x's do I need?
Uno más.
That's right, just 1 more. What do I multiply 2 by to get 10? 5. Here I have 1x, and here I only need 1x. So do I need any more x's?
No.
No. All right, we want these to match. So this needs to be 2x plus 5 also. And so, what can I divide out of 6 so that it turns into 2?
Plus
Right.
3.
Plus 3.
And then you got your answer.
Okay, do you see that they have these in common? So this gets pulled out in front. Gets pulled out in front. And then what am I left with? 2x plus 3.
How'd you get that? Oh, you just crossed them out? Oh, okay, never mind. I remember now. Bring down the 2x5 and then cross them out and pull what's left.
Okay, I want you to try number 6 now. We're going to kind of skip around a little bit today. I want you to try number 6. If you're not sure what to do, because a lot of you were out, if you're not sure what to do, please ask.
This one.
So you just actually need 1 right there, because you've already got an X there, and you've already got an X there. Okay, so what we do is we take this one times that one to start with, and times the negative to start with. So you ask yourself, how much should I be positive 24?
I just have a deep sense.
We want this one to match. We want it to be positive 2x and a minus 3. But right now, this is negative 2x and a positive. So I'm going to take out these negative 2x. We group what's left. Okay, let's try this one. So, we're going to do the 8 times the 3 is 24. So you're multiplying to get a positive 24, but you're adding to get a negative 14. So that is negative 12 and negative 2. Negative 12 and negative 2. So we're going to take and split this. So the first one comes down. We split this to negative 12x and negative 2x. Now, you also could have written negative 2x and negative 12x. At the end, we'll get the same answer. But what happens is that our parentheses will be reversed. The binomials will just be reversed. So if you put the negative 2 first, we're still going to get the same answer. Our just parentheses will be reversed. So if we look at the first two, what numbers can divide into 8 and 12? 4. What letters, variables, do they have in common? X. So what do I multiply 4 by to get 8? 2. Here I have 1x, and here I need 2, so how many more x's do I need? Good. Now, whatever sign this is comes right here. What do I multiply 4 by to get 12? 3. Okay, so the first one's the hardest one because the second one is the one we always want to match. These signs are opposite these. So when I want just the signs to change, I factor out a negative 1. When all you want is the signs to change, you factor out a negative 1. If you didn't want anything to change, you put a positive 1. All right, so we're going to pull out in front this that they have in common, and then we're going to group what's left. Okay, now we're going to go to the next section. Now this time this last number is negative. It's not going to make much of a difference. It's not. I'm going to actually start with this one, number 9. Same process though, because anytime this isn't 1, this is what I do. What is 5 times negative 6? Negative 30. So this time we're asking ourselves, what can I multiply to get negative 30? So I know they have to be opposite signs, right? Because I'm multiplying two numbers and getting a negative. One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. And I'm adding to get a positive 7. So if we think of our factors of 30, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and 5 and 6. We know they have to be opposite signs. If I subtract any of these combinations, do I get 7? Yeah, the 3 and 10. So the 10 needs to be positive, and the 3 needs to be negative. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay, so when it's negative, you just know you have opposite signs. So we're going to split this, still bring down the first one, split this to 10x and minus 3. Okay, and this is where at this point we do the same thing. Okay, so go ahead and see if you can finish it. If you need my help, let me know.
I think I need to know.
Okay, what'd you take out? And X. Okay, so whatever you take out has to come out there. Yes. Yeah. You want it to be X plus 2, and right now they're negative. So it's X plus 2, yes, take out A.
I don't even.
That's all we're doing here?
We are conflating two after we do. Well, we have 6 minutes.
Bro, he almost. Yeah, he does say. Yeah,
This is the best stuff, and if it be nasty, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all where true. That's the only sport that got changed for the national championship. Yeah, but you got to get the money to get to it. That's why
I didn't do much. Really?
That is a human beast. A human beast.
I didn't do
Like
much.
Asian beast. How many Russians? He's like
Alright, so,
in the ball game. Man, he got his base like a D2 wasn't
whatever.
exactly.
He has 5 touchdowns.
We don't face D2
for Alabama's gonna lose.
Alabama's gonna lose.
Oh.
Joey Jordan, no, they're not.
Hey,
All right, so guys,
I got 10 on Cooper.
no, we can't bet money in here. Sorry, y'all have to bet money outside of the classroom.
Alright, we'll do it.
Alright. Okay, so they have a 5 and an X in common. And so that gives me X plus 2. So a negative 3 comes out so that these match. So it's X plus 2 times 5X minus 3. Alright, so we did, that's fine. If you have 5X minus 3 times X plus 2, those are the same exact answers. You could write it either way. This or this is correct. The order of the parentheses doesn't matter. Okay, now we're going to skip to the bottom because the bottom has a negative out in front. And negative out in front just really kind of makes me mad.
I feel like it just makes it positive.
Okay? So, whenever there's a negative out in front, the first thing we're going to do is factor out a negative and make it positive. But when we factor out the negative, it makes the negative ones positive, but it makes the positive terms negative. Yes, ma'am?
I thought we were supposed to multiply like -6 with -4 and then it makes it positive, right? And then we do
That is usually step one, unless this is negative, and we hadn't done one like that yet. Okay? So, whenever the leading term is negative, the first thing you have to do is factor out a negative. And then Bridget's totally right. We're going to do the 6 times the 4 and get a positive 24. And we're going to ask ourselves, what do we multiply to get positive 24, but we add to get negative 11? Negative 8 and negative 3. So this negative 1 has to stick out in front.
Wait, why is that?
It can't go away. If we don't take that negative 1 out to start with, our answer actually won't be right. It's kind of weird.
I mean, we don't have time to do this.
We ain't got time for Kahoot.
I don't think we're going to make it to Kahoot today. Hopefully we'll have time for it next week. We should, because I've already taught all the topics,
Review.
so next week should go faster.
Next period.
All right, we're done. Guys,
Please.
Why y'all back?
I don't know. They must have rushed through this problem and finished it. Okay, so our answer ends up being negative 1 times 3x minus 4 times 2x minus 1. And that's our answer. Now, you could either write negative 1 or just have the negative out in front. I always just write a negative 1 so I don't forget about it. Okay, so Monday when we come in, a couple things. Y'all gave me a seating chart the other day. Are y'all still sitting in the same places?
No.
You gotta go back to those places until I learn everybody's names.
I'm in the place where
It messes with me.
I'm in the place where.
Okay. Alright, so next week we start for real, which means when you come in, your phones will go in the pouch. I will have a new list right here, and it will give you your number. And your phone goes in that number.
can I have number 2?
Well, it's alphabetical.
Can I have 1, 3?
It's alphabetical.
Can I have 2, 3? This number?
Sound like Chris.
Alright,
Okay, number 1.
I'm going to edit this video because we had a lot of downtime today.